Okay, are we...
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of
Keep it going.
Files, your once weekly follow-up to the hit D&D podcast, The In at the End.
Well, hit.
Last time I introduced us all, and you all made fun of me, so I'm not doing that.
That is true.
Because we
That is
don't
true.
introduce ourselves on the Crit Files.
Yeah.
We can,
part
though.
of the Crit
Can.
Files.
It's true. Milo has a point. Dash also had a really valid point.
It would make sense if we did introduce ourselves.
It's fine. It doesn't matter.
Because
We're
it
a
is
very
like a
consistent
separate
podcast. We do
thing.
the same thing every time. It's, we hit our beats.
That's for sure. Yeah, we introduced ourselves on Monday. We don't need to do it again in the same week on Thursday.
one introduction a week.
Yeah.
What if somebody
That's
only
the-
listen to the Crit Files, though?
that
Then we should keep the mystery alive.
Yeah, they should
Not
always
happening.
wonder.
Then we need to put it back behind the paywall if that's
I mean, obviously.
if that's the case.
Yeah, no shortcuts for you freeloaders.
Where's your dollar, you little?
Yeah, you one
That's right,
person.
guys.
So obviously we're back in person again.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Go ahead.
So we're back in character here. We are here going on a quest as young adults, young teenage people, fresh into the world. We lifted some items and got lost in the woods and spilled our beans. Why'd you spill your beans?
That was amazing. I'm so glad you all got drunk and started spilling secrets. You can't force that kind of stuff, and I'm just so glad it happened.
It felt like a real Stand By Me thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I
You
was
know what I
thinking
mean?
of. Yeah.
Which is kind of what we had all kind of hoped from
You know,
the teenage years.
Yeah, I'm feeling so far this season has been the most cinematic in terms of drama. Like the scenes that we keep coming up with naturally, like what I was saying last time, the Goonies kind of Stranger Things vibe of a group of friends just hanging out on the beach and exploring things on the beach. And then
Come
now
of age, like
Yeah.
we're all
This-
growing up.
Yeah.
and now we're actually bonding around a fire, doing things that people would do to be vulnerable with their friends.
I feel like we've somehow unintentionally, really, kind of did the first thing as kids was Goonies, going to a cave, hanging out on a beach.
Yeah.
Stakes
crab.
aren't super, super high. This felt more like Stand By Me, where we're kind of diving into more depth, like
Yeah.
real kind of stuff.
We're going on a quest, you know.
Yeah,
we're
and then
following
I'm
the
sure
tracks.
next will be more like Stephen King, like
Yeah.
more
Stephen
like
King.
Stephen
Yeah.
King.
It'll be like it.
Oh man,
and
It'll
we'll,
be like
Cell.
it.
I was thinking-
we'll kill an eldritch god and then have an orgy.
I watched
I was
Cell.
thinking American Pie.
I don't
on
know if
that
you guys
note.
have seen
Like,
Cell. It's a really
Yes.
weird movie.
is that the one with J-Lo?
No.
And like the mind stuff?
That is also a very good movie. This is one with
That was called
Samuel
Cell,
M.
wasn't
No, this is just Cell. Samuel L. Jackson and John Cusack, and cell phones turn everyone into zombies.
Nice.
It's based on a Stephen King book.
I was going to say,
Wow.
that sounds like a Stephen.
That sounds like somebody who is really old complaining about something, but in a book.
Stephen
like,
King wrote it.
It sounds like, I don't know. You know, I've never
things
read
that
it.
I really
but
hate.
I've never read it, but I've seen a Stephen King book called The Dead Zone, which sounds
yeah.
remarkably like what that could be.
Yeah.
Because that's a cell phone innuendo, zombies.
Anyway, that was completely off
I
topic,
wasn't
and
sure
I
where that was going.
apologize. I just watched it last night, and I had never seen it before, and I thought it was really good.
All right, Rhett, give us a prompt, something.
Yeah, you run these things.
Fuck. Okay.
Open up the files.
Yeah.
File my crit.
Yeah,
Fuck.
we just pulled it out.
So.
What's it say?
Shut the fuck up.
Oh,
I opened the folder.
If you don't mind, I can maybe
Thank
throw a
God.
prompt
Thank
out.
God. Thank Melora.
Is there a dark secret? Is there a darker secret that you didn't want to confess to as your character?
Ooh.
And is there maybe was what you said maybe your second choice? Or so I'll just kind of throw it out there. Whoever wants to pick it up.
I'll pick it up. I'll just say personally, I'm still really exploring who Ebenezer is. like just a couple hours before we started, I was texting Alex about character options and still sorting it out. And so there was a moment where I was thinking to myself about our relationship. And I was thinking like, I wonder if it's one of those things where, you watch the movies. Like, I think they talk about this in Stand By Me, where they get together and then they never see each other again. And I was like, is that us? Did we do the beach thing and then never see each other again? But then Ace starts unspooling a little bit, and he's like, I'm glad you guys are my family. And I was like, nah, we're homies. Like, for sure, So even that is like a sort of a revelation about
our characters
Right.
would know each other.
Right.
And I feel like your guys' characters, like
Were
Simon
you just going to say
and
the
Val,
cat? Because you were looking right at me.
I feel like you guys were more of those external characters. I feel like I've always had a tight bond with Ben.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to press him on his father thing.
Yeah.
Like, while we're out here in the woods alone, drunk, like, let's talk about Ben's
Right.
dad.
And
Let's
that's one of the strongest like character decisions I've made so far about Ben, about him as a child and young adult. Is it like dad's not in the picture? No idea why. So as far as dark or secret, the answer is like, I don't know. Maybe there is, but I kind of feel I've been playing Ben a little bit differently. More like he like I said in the very first episode with Ben, like he's studious and he cares about his mother. Like he's feeding his mother like while she's at work and before he goes out on his day, like
Working on the quilt.
right.
That's
I
so
love
cute.
that, by the way.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
I think it's such a fantastic folk art, like community cultural thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why all of our moms.
Yeah, at some point
like,
have worked on the quilt.
Yeah,
right.
Because you're
Yeah, that
telling
makes sense.
stories of the town while you're making this quilt. Like, you're putting that energy into
But
it.
there are definitely certain moms who are like on that quilt every day.
Yeah, and I think my mom probably would be.
She's on it.
And that was one thing I was singing, like, my mom's a single mom. What's a blue collar job in quilting? Like, she ain't down on the dock. She ain't fishing. She ain't,
Right.
She's quilting.
exactly. So anyway, dark or secret? I don't know. We'll have to find out.
Yeah. For Simon, that was pretty much bottom of the barrel for him. I do think that there might be something more, but I don't know that he views it as a dark secret. It's just like a normal part of Tabaxi life, because cats usually come in litters, and he's an only child.
That's a little weird.
So there could be something there, either at his hand or someone else's, or just naturally.
Yeah,
You
the
ate
idea there's like some self-shame going on
Yeah.
there.
Did
with,
you-
like cutting
You
your
ate,
hair?
you ate
I
your
ate my own siblings,
in the womb. Yeah.
Did you
Classic.
did you make up your short hair thing on the spot, or did you have that already?
I had thought about it like weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it came up today.
Which I think is cool. Which I think is
Oh,
great
yeah, yeah.
because it was like you can see that that's like a point of contention with him now.
Specifically for him
Yeah.
and his.
And it's much
Race.
deeper than the fact that you shave your.
It's a weird compulsion.
One
Yeah.
of my-
Yeah.
One of my first role playing experiences. Well, like I was playing the D20 Star Wars game, and I was playing a Wookiee who had been forcibly shaved, and he was outcast by the other Wookiees because of that.
Yeah. Yep. And I think
I can
for
relate.
Simon,
I
yeah,
understand.
thank you. You get it. You get me.
And I do like when things are taboo in a culture, especially in Haven, that it's related in some way to hair.
Yeah.
Like because it feels just mundane and silly.
But it's such an identifying thing about a person.
Yeah, but then it tells you that this culture, this group does care about this thing deeply.
Yeah.
Like it might seem silly, but then it translates when you look deeper into that culture.
And with Simon,
Yeah.
it's such a stupid thing. Like, anybody who sees a cat is like, oh, a long hair cat, a short hair cat. They're both cute or not cute, or I like to pet them both, or whatever. But amongst other felines in Tabaxi, like, it's not that way. Like, it is a status
It's a
thing.
much bigger
and
thing.
Yeah, it is very much a racist ideology, just put into kind of like a a very benign thing for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah, I wanted to be a racist, and I was trying to figure out how.
how could I get
Yeah.
there?
No,
You wanted to deal with
Yeah,
racism.
yeah.
No, I think it's a cool thing because it's like it gives your character this very specific thing that is unique to them.
And I'm curious how it'll play out.
Yeah, and if you run into other tabaxi, like a bunch of long hairs, right, and they see you, and we gotta hide you, and we're so ashamed of hiding our short-haired tabaxi.
I wouldn't talk to them.
And then,
That's for sure.
and then we'll have to put a collar on you and a leash and be like, no, it's our pet. Don't worry. Don't worry.
How
it's
much
our
thought have you
pet."
given this plan? Because
will-
I'm not buying into it.
I will never be okay with Simon being on a leash.
Look,
Just-
and Valen would never want to put you on a leash.
Right.
Dash wants to put you on a leash.
See, I think that's where it blurs. I'm not sure who I'm talking to right now.
I know. Sometimes we're talking to Valen, and I'm like, is this Dash?
Does Valen hate me or does Dash hate me?
No, not at all. Of course. No, we'll never do that. But I do think that's cool.
I mean, when
Yeah, definitely. As far as Ace, Ace, as I play all of my characters, I just have to be a complete open book, and my character is going to be an open book and just like spill everything out.
why'd you spill your beans?
You got to just spiel it out there. I've talked to Alex about some of the stuff that I plan on happening with his character, and I kind of brought that into like what his fears were and what he's looking towards in the future, and that stuff is probably going to come true.
Yeah, that hit hard when you were like saying like I was just playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and there's a scene where Arthur is spilling his guts to a nun, and he's talking about like, well, I guess I'm afraid, and like the way you said you're afraid, I was like, oh man, I was like, I instantly heard Arthur from Red Dead Redemption 2 just
so
talking.
good.
Yeah, that game slaps hard. What about you?
Val,
Oh,
Your prompt.
yeah. What I liked was that. I mean, I'm not trying to like toot my own horn, but I liked the idea of rolling a Constitution check to see what I was willing to
I like that too.
divulge.
and that totally makes sense for
The
a character
level
who
of-
may not want to be sharing.
Yeah.
The level
yeah.
of jaw drop is
Well,
Right.
you already seem like kind of a guarded person, anyways.
Yeah, so there's a lot that he's, and granted, you're like his like closest friends, and you're probably his truest friends because it's one of those things where he's like, well, I got to go back to my Divine Guard, whereas you guys, out of character, saw his interaction with Alistair and the other people. Clearly, it's not friendly.
Well,
Or
the difference is like we chose you,
Yeah.
where
Right.
you're choosing them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, okay, if it's anything over like a 15, then I will probably divulge like the big one. But it was under, so I could kind of divulge one that was like okay, but you could already kind of surmise it wasn't like that big of a deal. So yeah, so the bigger one, that one he keeps. So
Well, I think
Keeps it in the pocket.
I think the group of friends is probably like, wow, it took a lot for him to share what he shared. Like, it's probably a big deal.
yeah, to you guys, yeah, that's probably like a
We
big
probably
deal.
We gotta
never
get him
heard
drunk more
anything.
often.
Yeah, we probably never heard
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
that big.
Yeah. Nothing
That's
negative.
definitely what this
probably.
felt like was coming out into the woods and being like, oh, we're out of the city. We can kind of do what we want.
Let
we have
loose
freedom.
a little bit.
We feel like
and-
we can kind of actually talk without feeling like the pressure of
Society.
No
close
parents,
society.
no school, no,
Right.
nothing around.
Yeah.
Around, yeah.
And sometimes we may have murdered some people.
Yeah, and then Brooch. What the fuck?
You guys,
I killed the man.
That escalated.
The only thing kept popping up in my head is Bruce just saying, "I think I killed a dude."
And I love that it's I think.
I think
It's
yeah.
not like
not
I
100%
killed someone.
sure.
Yeah.
Then that's very
But
important.
I think I did.
It's very important that he does not know.
Like his inaction.
That's how he
caused the
justifies
death.
it,
Yeah.
so he can be okay with
What's
it.
that movie or show? He's like, and I may have even sold a person. I don't speak the language, but I should.
That's Barney from How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I knew that was why that was in my head. I love that show.
Yeah, this episode was so fun.
Yeah.
Good job,
Yeah.
y'all.
Yeah, it was
was very
fun just
good.
role playing, being in there.
Being around a campfire.
Yeah.
just
Really?
talking.
What did we do?
Why are we even?
stole some stuff.
Yeah, it's like
I'm excited to see where
we
we're
need a
where
quest?
Brooch is.
I feel like we can
Yeah,
just role
yeah.
play.
Did we even really progress at all?
You're
Did we get
deep
anywhere?
in the forest.
Yeah.
No, I mean like in terms of what you're hoping that
Yeah.
we would get done.
No.
Oh
not
yeah,
at
no,
all.
no. This is about where I thought for.
Oh,
for
okay.
an hour
Okay,
session.
cool.
Okay,
Yeah,
that-
Okay, good. Okay.
Because that's the thing.
I
Whenever
just wanted to be
because
like,
you've DM'd for us before. and
Yeah,
you're
I
aware
could-
that-
yeah.
I kind of knew that we would probably
I could
yeah.
see when I
derail this.
When I was like, "Let's hear your deepest secrets," I like looked over at Alex and I could tell he was like, "All right."
no, perfect, yeah. Well, I mean, whenever
makes
it's
sense.
something like this, like the last episode we did, like this episode, like the episode we do again when we're level 3. It's introducing always takes like half the episode.
Yeah.
And I always do like doing that whenever there's a big change in characters. I tried to bookend it where last time it was who do you go see, and
Yeah.
then this time it's who
do
do
you
you,
say goodbye
leave
to?
from, who do you say
Yeah.
goodbye to. I
we're-
knew it was going to take a good chunk of time.
We're also time jumping 6 years,
Mm-hmm.
which is really like covering a lot of time. Really,
Yeah.
and a lot of like character stuff. So yeah,
Especially
it
in the
makes sense.
formative years.
Here's
Like,
a-
a lot of
yeah,
Yeah,
change
when
here's a
we're
quick
all
question.
young, and
Yeah.
that like a lot takes place in those short amount of time. So.
Here's a quick question for everybody: how do you think your character has changed since the last session, or have they?
Good question. Yeah. And I would add to with the influx of new people, with the calming happening.
Yeah.
Because that's the big thing, right? Is you're all growing up, you're coming of age. Is wow, this big change has happened.
I think that
in the world.
insulated us in some way and made us closer.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like it's
Because we
forced
were
us
kind of
to-
like we were there on the shore when
We're the
saw it.
OGs, yeah.
I think I'll just jump in on this first. I think for Ben, one of the main things is that he's realized just how different from other dwarves he really is, because he didn't have I think in my head canon, I don't exactly know how they are in Haven, but I was sort of thinking that they're very paternal, patriarchal. You kind of.
That's how you imagine dwarves.
I think you get the Worf treatment of you
Yes.
have only ever
Yes.
heard about dwarves and their
Exactly.
people, and so it's the telling from other people that you hear of,
And
so
they
it's
can tell-
always on a pedestal.
And they can tell I'm an outsider,
Yeah.
because it's like.
But now you've met with the
yeah.
the dwarves that come in, all kinds of different dwarves.
There are.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that they can note that I'm not exactly like the typical, like, for one, like I trim my beard. They're like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
it looks better this way.
It does. And it can't be used against me in a fight because Ace grabbed it one too many times.
It's just a nice grip right there.
no joke. I was sparring with my instructor one time, and he tried to judo throw me with my beard when I had a beard.
Ouch.
I had long
Yeah.
shoulder length hair that like came down in the middle of my chest, and one time somebody literally dragged me across the ground with it. So I cut my hair. I cut my hair a week later.
Promptly. Yeah. That's why I don't have any piercings anymore. Because, like, especially with jiu-jitsu, like, your face is getting smashed, and, like, I don't want anything ripped out.
Yeah, I would hate for your Prince Albert to get fucked up.
Oh, geez. Tell me about it.
Anybody else?
How would you enjoy it anymore after that?
Yeah, I would think that Valen, with the influx of different people, ideas, and cultures, probably kind of retreated in from a lot of fear into Melora, because
Yeah.
I don't think until that point, he'd really even obviously heard of or knew of other people following other gods, or religions, or ideas.
That's interesting.
And so I think that's why he's so into the idea of this like a little more militaristic style, because like, no, we have to like preserve this.
yeah.
And I think that it's leading to a very cracked faith and a very fragile faith.
That's interesting.
So
I was kind of thinking, because I remember when we talked before and you were talking about playing a religious character, and when I saw the way you were playing Valen the first time, I kind of wanted to lean into like the religious aspect too, which is probably why I settled on Paladin. I didn't realize you were playing Paladin, but I was kind of thinking that mine would be more of like a reluctant thing. And so it's kind of interesting, like the dichotomy, and it'll be interesting to see how yours progresses
Ooh.
in the face of in the face of new ideas and adventuring and things like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna say anything else. Yep.
Are we playing the same character?
I like.
We'll see. I don't know what I'm doing yet.
I like what you're saying though. Like having one paladin that is like gung ho,
a little bit more into the idea, but he might change by the time we get to level 3.
That's true, but that's a really
sounds
fun
like kind
thing
of
to
what he
think
was
about.
saying. Yeah, it looks like, and his face says that that's probably the case.
I don't know. We'll see.
What does that face say?
That face says, "I don't know. We'll see."
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe he doesn't know. But I was just thinking, for the sake of conversation, it's interesting seeing your character evolve in that way. So I don't know what my character's doing either. So don't let me influence.
Yeah.
you.
Well, I mean, I've had this character planned out for a while, and we've talked a lot about this, Alex and I.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a very clear progression that's happening, and so I know what's going to happen. So I just kind of want to leave it a little more vague.
Sure, that's
more
fine. That's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, I just like the idea of that, like the introduction of all these outsiders.
Yeah,
Which I think is very true to form of most religious people.
it is. That's why I
Like,
think it's interesting.
Oh, fuck, I got to retreat back into my circle.
You become more conservative.
because
in that way.
yes,
Like-
because you're like, oh my god, I have to keep
It's
around
so
people.
much easier than
Well, think about,
broadening your.
think
Right.
about what happens to a lot of like Christians when they're exposed when they go to college and go to the outside world.
Yeah,
It's like,
or like Amish people who go on like Rumspringa. Yeah, and they go, oh my gosh, I can do drugs. And it's just stuff like that. So
and some of
Why
them,
was I ever not doing
some
drugs?
of them, some of them go
Yes.
back and they're like, yeah, whatever. And then others are like, the illusion has been cracked. You can't go back.
right. So yeah.
Interesting.
Anyways,
that'll be
sorry.
fun to see. I think
talked
that's
enough.
really fascinating with Valen. So, what about Ace? How has Ace changed? More secure with your father, less secure, more secure outside of that.
It feels like you've been pretty through and through.
Yeah, I definitely don't think like the path that Ace is taking has not really changed. Like he sees his place in like his family and in the community the same way he did when he was a child, which is probably not like a super healthy thing for like a 19-year-old who's about to become an adult to be in. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I think Ace is going to develop as he develops.
Here. That's cool.
Super cool.
Sweet.
As
What
a
about
gem.
Brooch?
Brooch, I'm using.
Might have killed the person between. now and then.
Well, yeah. I'm very much using as my take on what I think just a regular person might take away from the events that are happening. Like this town gets grown and these people come in, and Brooch is just excited by it. As all these new people come in, he wants to go out there. He wants to be on a boat by himself. He wants to have that freedom that he sees all these other like sailors and pirates have. So he wants to stake that kind of claim for himself.
With Brooch's divulgence of possible murder, I can't help but think like Brooch the following day comes back level 7 and it's like, Brooch, what have you been doing? Like,
Yeah, I'm also curious if Brooch is gonna be a character down the road, or if he's like a tragic ending in our youth, where we're like, oh yeah,
oh, we all remember Brooch.
I really like the
R.I.P.
idea.
Brooch.
Yeah.
He mentioned the word pirates a minute ago, and I really liked the idea that we're out there questing, and we hear rumors about old pirate Brooch or whatever, and we're like, damn, the guy's really out there doing it.
yeah, Brooch the Black.
That's right.
I love
takes up the Dread Pirate.
Yeah, he really yeah,
That's his
what I was
destiny,
going
right?
on.
Man.
Yeah,
I love the idea of getting out into the world and like you run into other Quiltoners.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh, that's so cool,
right? Right?
so cool.
That's interesting. Like this idea of just like you have this shared sort of like history, this shared culture, but you're out in the Wild West, essentially, you know? Like,
Yep.
I mean, it's like meeting people who come from the same small town somewhere way far away.
Well,
and
honestly,
they're like,
it was like when Alex was talking about like all the people that were coming to Quilden, and like one of the places was this Aura Forge powered like ships coming in. I was
From
like,
the Mage's
oh,
Waste.
That's pretty sick.
well,
There's
that's
the,
like
the Aether from the Mage's Waste, the Aura from the from Ortolan.
like Ball would have probably known some of these people.
And bringing up in the introduction the Aether, the Aether Waste,
and the seers.
Exactly. Yeah.
How-
Scory would be a seer.
Yeah.
The training that Scory would have received are the people that would set sail on ships.
where are we in chronological relation to our last visit to Haven?
I think it's 10, 20 years now.
So they're theoretically still alive and out.
So how long after the bards?
I think with the time skip now, I think we're definitely like 20 years from that last.
From murdering Eben. Wait, when did that happen? No, that was at the beginning.
That'll happen around that same time.
from liberating the waste.
yeah.
But what
From
about
liberating the
how
waste.
far are we after the bardic pilgrimage?
Oh, the traveling festival.
Yeah, the
traveling festival was I think like 5 years after that, so that's 15 years.
Oh, okay, cool. Damn,
Yeah.
Arthur's getting old.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you skip forward in time a little bit. It's like, well, dang, so a lot of stuff is happening. Time's weird though, so
Yeah, it is weird.
you never know.
It's
it's all fiddly.
wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff.
I mean, sometimes you just get sucked into oil lamps and stuff.
oh my gosh, could we meet Elias Gold in some scam he's
I was
Oh,
hoping.
yeah.
Oh
yeah. Here's my favorite thing is I have
Old man
5
scoring.
different bard groups to place whenever I want to.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
What an amazing
There's some
one-shot
show
that was
happening
just
this
for
Friday
that.
night.
There's just like I can just pull out, a bard group that's at a tavern.
Yeah, there's
And you all
also
will know who they are.
there's some fucking rancher that makes weird bird musical instruments.
That's right. That's
Oh,
right.
yeah, that's right. You're fucking.
is that
what
guy
was it
playing a
called?
bird? A quibble?
A quibble. Yeah.
That's gonna be one of the quests on the open seas is a quibble caravan gone
quibble
awry.
off. Oh, jeez.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
We got
So
a-
excited.
Yeah, that's going to be good. Well, awesome, guys. This has been a great Crypt Files. Thanks for joining us. We hope that you enjoyed it. And we hope that you come back for Monday for the continuation, the next chapter of this this season of The Inn at the End. Until then, grab your sword and keep on adventuring.